Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical update here by Agent Weather Forecast. I'm here tracking Tropical Storm Faye as it does near the U.S. coastline here, including New Jersey, and possibly going to make landfall over the tri-state area, including ports of New York City, New York, and other big areas. But while we have major updates here on Faye, it is definitely strengthening, and it's already bringing out tropical storm force winds now for including Maryland, Delaware, and portions of New Jersey are seeing those tropical storm force wind extents. And we're starting to see now some really major flooding already for inland areas, and we're starting to see that rain entering New York City as we speak right now. We have flash flood warnings, tropical storm warnings, and flash flood advisories. So we are definitely prepared for this tropical storm Faye here. We also have photos from a viewer that sent them in northern New Jersey. They have photos there of Faye and what it looks like, so we're going to be checking that out as well later in the video. And also, of course, we're going to be also seeing the potential for a tornado threat in these areas as well. Could very well see some nice severe weather with the outer bands. But before we get the video, please check out the Discord server in the description below. That is Weather Expo, and I'm the owner, so please be sure to check that out for a nice weather community. Also, hit the post notification icon, subscribe, and like button to show your awesome support. Without further ado, let's get this tropical update. So here's the new National Hurricane Center update, and as you see, they have now updated to 50 miles an hour. Also interesting, the recon that just went in around 30 minutes ago, they actually did find 55 knots there. And also, they found 70 knots at flight level. So we do have possibly an update here in the next coming hours here, or sorry, possibly the next 30 minutes, we can have a new update to possibly either 55 miles an hour or possibly 60 miles an hour. Or very well likely we can have 60 miles an hour as this storm really. So I think 60 miles an hour we can see in the next update here. And then I think at that point, once it gets 60, it's going to start winding down and weakening a little bit. But 60 miles an hour is still a pretty moderate to a strong tropical storm really. So they have 999 millibars central pressure, but in recon they found 998, so it is strengthening. We are seeing a lot of convection and also vorticity in the central at that low pressure system, so it's really nice, a nice tropical system, and it's moving directly to the north at 10 miles an hour, so it could possibly avoid a Delaware landfall, could possibly maybe even avoid a southern New Jersey landfall until it gets closer to the New York area. Now let's go and check out now the satellite imagery. Here is now the true color zoomed out satellite imagery. As you see, the system is really tropical. We are seeing a little drier entering this closed area, which is kind of why you see kind of an enclosed low pressure system. Obviously, it's not the most organized system, but here is a low pressure system right now. You can see where we have that center low right there where the most of the vorticity is. We're seeing a ton of vorticity right here, a ton of rotation, and right there, this low pressure system now is starting to move a little bit more to the north, but kind of also a little bit to the east. Not really northeast, but as you see, this is kind of what it looks like. It kind of went like this, and now it's going like this directly to the north. So it may turn a little bit and then make landfall right there as it goes like that, and that is expected to happen. So this system could literally be riding the coast of New Jersey. Like, that is not a metaphor. That's not anything. That is literally what could happen. It's literally gonna ride the coast of New Jersey. But really, this thing looks really organized. We kind of have obviously those outer bands right here, which is where we have a tornado threat. This is the area we could have a tornado threat right here, in my opinion. And also, the SPC agrees on that. The outer bands are the ones that bring those tornadoes. So obviously, just because you're not on the cone doesn't mean you're not going to be seeing threats. You're going to still obviously going to be seeing some flooding, and also going to be seeing a severe weather threat. Let's go and check out now those photos that a viewer sent from New Jersey. Let's go and check out that and see exactly what it looks like to be in the first outer bands and how intimidating it look like to see a Faye. So let's go and check that out. So here are 3 photos from a viewer that sent this from north central New Jersey here. As you see, we're seeing some nice clouds. Obviously, this person who is here, they aren't getting the rain right now because they are in northern Jersey. Obviously, the rain is southern Jersey, but it's getting there. That person could start to see some rain in a couple hours, but you can kind of see this intimidating nice lower clouds right here. You can see how low those clouds are really. That is obviously the outer bands, and these storms, these clouds that he did say, or they did say that they were kind of rotating. At this point, they were kind of going like this, and obviously that is vorticity. That's how it is, but really nice, dense cloud cover, very dark. Does look like it doesn't really look like a normal day, really in the Northeast. Even if you see cloudy days on this, it doesn't kind of look like this. Really abnormally dark. Obviously, this is a tropical system, so we're gonna be seeing tropical downpours. You can go from drizzling to blinding conditions within minutes or seconds here. So let's see what it looks like in northern Jersey. Obviously, it looks a lot different in southern Jersey. It's gonna probably possibly look very light grayish. It's going to be really windy and possibly like very, very heavy rain. Heavy enough to have flash flood warnings. Obviously, obviously you're going to see that when you have a tropical storm. Now let's go and check out now all the details on this storm. Here we are taking a look at now the cone and timing. As you see, they have extended these tropical storm warnings all the way to Delaware, to the Delaware coast. And that is because we are seeing very strong and widespread tropical storm force winds, seeing 50 plus miles an hour here. That's including Delaware, Maryland, and even starting to get to portions of New Jersey. So very widespread tropical storm force warnings. This, if not, is going to go directly over the New York City area and tri-state area, which is absolutely just the odds of happening are super low and slim. So it's extremely rare to see this, especially in July. Let's go and check out now the tracks. As you see, it is expected to go, if not ride the coast of New Jersey. So models are showing it either avoiding a whole contact in New Jersey until the tri-state area, or it's going to be riding the coast until it actually goes to the tri-state area. So this is the cone. It obviously has winded down. Like I said, it's not going to be going to Massachusetts or Rhode Island like that. Like I said, and you guys still thought that was going to happen, or some of you guys still thought Cape Cod or Newport could see something. You guys can see some nice waves, maybe 3-footers, 5-footers are likely, and some windy gusts, but that eye definitely not going to go over there. So it's going to be winding down to, I believe, New Haven, Connecticut, portions of New York City, Newark, obviously as well, and also possibly affect Albany, even portions of Western Massachusetts, and even Vermont. So that is the track here. Let's go and check out now the day one outlook. We are seeing severe weather here as well. People tend to think, people tend to forget about the other side of tropics, which is obviously severe weather. They have now updated a huge for the day one outlook on the Storm Prediction Center, and let's go and check that out. So here's the day one outlook. As you see, we have a very widespread enhanced risk. We're going to be talking about that later today, but obviously we're focusing on the tropics here. And as you see, they have now added a slight risk, which I did expect. It's about time they did that. They have added a slight risk now for portions of Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, I believe Atlantic City as well, much of Long Island, and just in that general area where we have kind of tropical storm warnings. Tornado threat is the reason why we have that. Obviously, the tornado threat is the biggest severe weather threat for tropics, not hail. And then not winds. The wind threat is for the winds from the tropical systems, not from severe weather. Wind threat to 5% chance now for portions of Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Haven, Toms River, New Jersey, Norwalk, Connecticut, and Fairfield, Connecticut, if you know anybody there. And then we have a 2% chance now for New York, Newark, New Jersey City, and Yonkers. And obviously the wind threat is a 5% chance for severe weather and not going to be seeing any hail. Now let's go and check out now the precipitation rate and also all the raters to see exactly who can see the heaviest rain and the timing and all of that. Here's the precipitation rate here in the GFS. GFS is somewhat now actually making sense. They were still showing yesterday landfall for Delaware like this, but now they're finally showing it kind of right in the coast at this point like that, which is reasonable. As you see, they are showing it possibly reaching, they're still showing it at 1,006 millibars, but it's actually at 999 right now. As you see, they are possibly going to be directly right in the coast. And look at the rain. It's going to bring it a lot. The heaviest of the rain will be actually north of this low pressure. But look, it's right here in the center. But we're still going to be seeing rain as far as Boston, Concord, New Hampshire, Cape Cod. So this is how widespread it is. bringing very heavy rain. Possibly GFS is showing actually making landfall on Long Island, not directly over New York City. So if you're, that's what the GFS is showing. GFS doesn't seem to be the most accurate for tropics, but it's been fairly good this year. But I don't really think the GFS has done too good of a job with this. Really, CMC has really done really good with this. The NAN 3KM model somewhat, and also the HRRR has done pretty good on this storm. And then it's going to bring in that rain later on. Let's go and check out now the NAN 3KM model, which I said is decently good for at this point right now for the tropics. As you see, it's going to bring that really heavy rain ahead of time for Delaware. Going to bring in flash flooding way ahead of time for portions of Atlantic City. Extremely heavy rain. Of course, we're going to be seeing that severe weather threat as well for New York City as well, Long Island, near other areas near that area near Albany. Could be seeing some nice rain, and then that low pressure is going to go right over Albany and bring that really heavy rain for portions of the Appalachians. Let's go and check out now the this is the WRF. This is done pretty good as well with tracking this. As you see, it is going to bring that really heavy rain for Long Island, New Jersey, Connecticut. This is going to bring in nice rain. It's definitely going to be a good idea to stay at home. I know you guys see nor'easters basically almost every year, which can bring in Category 1 force winds, but obviously this is tropical. It's heavier rain. Obviously, you're not used to seeing something like this in summer. You are used to seeing it in winter, so it's kind of different. It's like saying the South is going to get snow in November. We're not used to that. But if we get snow in January, we're still not completely used to snow that much, but we can handle it differently. But then it brings some rain as far as areas like near Bangor, Maine, and all. Even over Scotia can see some rain. Now let's go and check out now the wind models, the precipitation, and also we're going to be checking out the wave heights. How big can these waves be? Here's the HRRR model here on the winds here. Let's go and check this out. As you see, we can possibly 43 knots in the next coming hours. So that's expected, but we obviously did see possibly 55 knots just a couple minutes ago. And as we get in the next coming hours, we're going to get possibly now to 46 knots, so could weaken it a little bit. I do see us getting to 60 miles an hour, though, just before it starts weakening. As you get later on, it does now showing really strengthening. Here is that center right here. You can kind of see that's what the HRRR is showing, but it is showing also 53 knots just over Long Island portion of New York. So it does, so it kind of weakening a little bit and strengthening up to possibly 54 knots, and then it's going to possibly bring it to 46 knots. 48 knots for portions of the New England area, so definitely see some high, maybe some wind advisories, of course, and then they kind of weakened from there at that point. Now let's go and check out the wave heights as well, see exactly how high are these waves going to be. Haven't really mentioned this at all, really, the past tropical systems, but obviously I'm going to start changing that. As we now get the next 7 hours, we're going to possibly see up to some 12-footer waves in the middle of the Atlantic, but for areas near the New Jersey coast near Atlantic City, we can possibly see around 7-foot waves, possibly maybe even 8-foot waves. And then right here, we can definitely see some really big waves for the northern New Jersey coast. Getting very close to that coast, we can possibly see 10-foot waves just off the coast there. But same thing with Long Island, we're seeing some nice waves, possibly 8 to 10-foot waves for Long Island, and then we may even reach 11-foot waves later on, and then we can see maybe some rough seas as well near Newport. Can possibly see 6-foot waves for Newport, but that is the waves. Now the last thing we'll be looking at is the precipitation here. As you see, we're definitely seeing a lot of rain. New Jersey, Delaware, portions of Maryland, you guys can possibly expect 5 to 7 inches of rain, and then areas like New Jersey, PA, up there in New York can possibly expect from anywhere from 3 to 6 inches as well. So I hope you guys did enjoy that short video on Tropical Storm Faye. I'll most likely maybe do a later video when it makes landfall. So be sure to stay tuned for 3 videos today. This, severe weather, and then another update here as Faye soon to be nearing the coast of New Jersey. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Stay safe out there, and bye guys.